Hey guys, it's Tara and welcome back to Reviewniforms. Yay! The channel where I react, rant, rate, and review uniforms from all over the world, from all walks of life. So if you want to hear what I think of some cool uniforms or some not so cool uniforms, then keep on watching. Okay guys, I'm ready for the first uniform. Let's go.
As the brand ambassadors of Qatar Airways, cabin crew will be issued their burgundy uniforms.
Y'all, I've been waiting for this to come across my screen for the longest time. Qatar Airlines is known as one of the airlines that has the most stringent uniform standards of any airlines that exist. So I am excited to see more. Ooh, let's go.
And they will be certified to fly upon completion of their training. But before every flight, a lot of preparation goes into presenting their best selves as they welcome passengers on their journey.
Do you see how their uniform standards start even before they put their uniform on, with skincare and maintenance and makeup? I love that they put so much attention on that. It's really important. So let's see what they have to say about it.
Crew are expected to maintain a high level of personal hygiene. This includes using good quality skincare and paying attention to details such as nails and facial hair. Experts in their field, including professional makeup artists and hairdressers, teach them how to bring to life their best attributes through carefully considered beauty, hair, and makeup advice.
I love it that they have professionals come in and make these standards for them. It just makes sure that the staff is as sharp as they could possibly be. Love when a company does that.
Each skin type, hair, and makeup application is unique, and we provide personalized recommendations that work for each cabin crew skin type, considering more than 140 nationalities.
Okay, I love to hear that. That reminds me of when I used to be a professional NFL cheerleader, and one of my years, I cheered for 5 seasons, and one of my years, there were only 2 black girls on the team. And so when it came to beauty standards and some beauty stuff, we were kind of on our own, you know, even though there was a makeup sponsor and skincare sponsor and all that stuff, the black girls were just kind of on their own to figure out what works. And that was, I guess, because the ownership had really figured out, well, we've got something figured out for most of the employees, so the rest of them can figure it out on their own. And it's a very weird place to be when you're actually that employee. So hearing that they have considered 140 different nationalities, skin types, and hair textures when coming up with their beauty standards, I can tell you, not only make their flight attendants really happy and feel valued, but it definitely makes for just a better looking staff when all of the employees' needs are addressed.
Did you know that our nail polish and lipstick colors are meant to complement the colors of our uniform?
Are we noticing the patterned shirt? It actually fits really well. I don't know if it has shoulder pads or not, but it is really well fitted on each of the women. The shoulders hit at a very particular point. I like the little, very subtle print on it. Brings some interest to the uniform top instead of it just being a white blouse. We're gonna see the full uniform any second now, and I'm so excited.
This is just one of the details that goes into achieving our high standards of presentation. And then, of course, there's the uniform, which they wear with pride, as its colors represent not only the company, but also the state of Qatar as a whole.
Y'all, that burgundy suit. I mean, the fit on this thing is tailored, as I say, within an inch of its life. I absolutely love this suit. All the way from the stand-up collar to the 2 buttons to the simplicity of the look, but the complete tailored fit that looks like this thing barely even has seams in it. It really is a beautifully fit garment. You can tell that the ownership absolutely cares about every detail down to the last button. I love it.
As a last touch, the female crew member's hat should always point forward, with the oryx on the left.
The hat, you guys. I mean, a flight attendant hat, is there anything more cool and better and more uniformy than a flight attendant hat? It's just something that's so retro and so throwback to the original times of flight attendants. Remember when we did Southwest, and I don't think we've ever reviewed Pan Am, but I just love the idea of Qatar and how they've got that little pillbox hat just laid on there. I know there's a band, a small band that goes around their little bun with a scrunchie, but it just looks like that thing is just floating on top of their head, and I love, love, love the way they wear it. And of course, the logo kind of pointing forward is just, such a cute added touch. I love it! I love it! I love it!
Now they're ready to leave for the flight. But the preparation continues at Qatar Airways Operations Center.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this flight QR001, Doha, London.
Before each flight, they study the flight plan and participate in a pre-flight briefing with the rest of the crew.
Victoria, as you can see today on the flight, we have a lot of special meals.
Okay, so this suit is kind of disappointing. Now, let me be clear. It fits this gentleman very, very well. I mean, you got to give it up to Qatar on the tailoring. I do love the way it fits, and his collar fits nicely on his shirt, but the tie is just kind of blah. It's gray, and I just feel like the male flight attendants should bring in that burgundy. In fact, why not have an entirely burgundy suit? It's a color that really lends itself to menswear. So I'm surprised that they didn't go, all the way with the men having a burgundy suit as well. But at least a burgundy tie, I think, would bring it in. So it's interesting why they made this choice to do a gray and black tie, but let's just see.
I'll make sure that I physically check all this.
As they get ready to fly,
Okay, I take all of that back. So the men do have a matching tie for their suit. I don't know how I missed that. Obviously that gentleman was working in corporate and he was some type of trainer. I'm picking up what they're putting down now. Okay, the ground crew and trainers obviously have a different tie. I love it that the male flight attendants do have the signature burgundy Qatar color in their tie. Ties them in. Ta-da. Shh. I'll be here all week. Actually, I'll just be here next Sunday. Anywho, yes, the tie matches and I love that. Let's move on.
each crew member knows they've earned their prestigious position, with the confidence that they will be ready for any situation they may encounter on board.
Y'all, just look at her. I mean, with that kind of like, loving herself with that hat on right there. This is just a perfect shot showing how freaking sharp this uniform looks. I absolutely love it. And talking about sharp, her eyebrows, like a blade, cut me like a knife. I love it. So how many Reviewniforms do I give the Qatar Airlines flight attendants? I'm gonna give them 4 Reviewniforms because this uniform, as you saw this entire way, is sharp. Their standards are absolutely incredible. All the way from skincare to hair care to makeup, they have made sure that their entire staff has everything they need and all the tools to look absolutely gorgeous every day. And I took away 1 Reviewniform because I just really think, okay, change my mind. 4.5 Reviewniforms. Yes, because the men do look great. I really wish that Qatar would have gone all the way and given them burgundy suits. That would have been so sickening. So I took away half a Reviewniform for that. 4.5, our very first 4.5 today for Qatar Airlines. Okay guys, what's next?
Except we've got the Malaysian Guards from the Royal Malay Regiment.
Yes, another military uniform. And around here, we love a military uniform, especially a foreign one. So let's see the Malaysian Guards. Let's go.
So first up, I got to give kudos to these guys to wearing a uniform like this in incredibly hot weather.
Okay, I was knocked off my feet from the first view of the uniform, but to his point, wearing a uniform that is this, I would say, covering and full and layered definitely is a feat to wear in Malaysia. I mean, Malaysia is a Southeast Asia country that can range from 70 to 90 degrees every single day, which to a Texas girl like me is mild weather, but not when you are wearing a full dress uniform. So these guys, kudos for looking this sharp and this good in very, very hot climates. Let's see more.
Now we got some of you guys over in and around Malaysia, but man, incredibly hot and humid. Yet these guys are pulling it off. They are relatively looking good.
Okay guys, so this is our very first shot at looking at the uniform. I can see, let's just work our way from top to bottom. There's so much to love here. The uniform hat, or yeah, this is a hat, this isn't a helmet. The uniform hat seems to be a Garrison style hat, which is kind of the, I guess, the look of the, what you would see in old school army hat, which is the ones that kind of like point a little bit. This is a variation of the Garrison style. It looks like it doesn't have a fold, but it does have the shape of it. Very interesting that they don't have anything for shade. That would make sense that they would have a shaded hat or helmet. So we've got the Garrison style hat with a insignia on it. What I'm really loving is these super sharp and metallic looking epaulettes. It gives their shoulders like a really sharp, imposing look. And the fact that the uniform is all white just makes perfect sense because of the temperatures. I mean, it's bad enough that they're covered in head to toe in layers and gloves in such a climate, but the fact that it's white definitely helps. And I really love the modest medal placement. It kind of looks like they all have a very uniform shape and uniform size. In the US military, I mean, we're like Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. We got medals like all over the place and ribbons, and I freaking love that because that is so USA, USA. But I really do like the fact that they've got theirs looking very clean, very neat, and very symmetrical within everyone. Looking clean, very symmetrical amongst everyone. So this skirt or wrap or kilt looking thing they've got on is called a Sampin, and it's a part of the Southeast Asian tradition. It reminds me of the women in Southeast Asia who wear the saris, and it's a wrap around long piece of fabric that goes around and creates kind of a skirt. In this region, men wear this as well, and I love it that they put a shortened version of it with this uniform. Yeah, this looks really clean, and the shoes just being black and simple, I like very much.
And my favorite part about this uniform, the fact that they brought in the traditional Sampin. Also known as the cane de gang, this is basically what we in the West would call a skirt. And when I saw this, I'm like, oh man, this looks like they just wrapped it around. Is this actually historically accurate? Is this traditional? I did my research. This is right spot on. And so for that, man, I got to hand it to them. They took the best of the West and they were able to blend it in with their culture. And again, you know, if the white right here, I was thinking naval uniforms in the U.S. Navy, they got the whites. We got the epaulettes on here. You've got actually, you know, the whole fruit salad, the boots look functional. You've got a modern weapon that they're carrying here.
That is something else I just noticed too. Their weapon is shiny, and I mean, this thing almost looks like it's made out of platinum. I've never seen a weapon that is this gorgeous and shiny chrome and black. So not only does their uniform look really modern, but the weaponry that they're carrying with it looks really great.
But yeah, as soon as they bring in that green right there in and around the waist, I thought, you know, this looks really good.
Speaking of around the waist, that gold belt with the huge kind of buckle there, I think that that ties in the Sampin perfectly. It is bringing in the gold that goes with their epaulettes, that goes with the stripe on their hat. It's all just working really, really well here. Well thought out uniform, not just great looking.
And then when you watch them on parade, you see pictures of these guys actually performing, moving around, very functional. My only critique, if any, would actually maybe to make the medals a bit smaller, although they seem to stay in place, and maybe go for a cover, a hat basically, that's going to better shield the eyes from the sun.
He said the same thing I said. Okay, so I disagree with him on the medals. I think the size of the medals is great, but yeah, I am surprised that they don't have a hat or cover, as it's called in the military. They don't have a cover that shields their eyes more. Great minds think alike. I love this guy.
You know, for ceremonial use and overall sticking with tradition.
You guys, the Malaysian Guard has got a gorgeous uniform. This is a very, very easy 5 Reviewniforms for this uniform. Yeah, they really thought of it all. Bringing in the white color, obviously, to cool the uniform off as much as humanly possible in such a hot climate. The addition of the Sampin and keeping it really in tradition with the region, and then just the overall sharpness of the proportions of the uniform. Yes, the head cover could use a bit more of a brim, but I believe that this is a ceremonial uniform and not being worn all the time, and more of a dress situation. And so the stripes on there, the gold, bringing in the gold epaulettes, all the detailing, I could go on, but let's just give it 5. Faux show. Okay guys, what's our last uniform today? Y'all, it's our favorite guy, Jean-Charles, and he is the hat historian. This guy is an amazing YouTuber, and he makes some wonderful videos for us to review. And so he has a channel just like I do. Instead of just uniforms, he specifically reviews uniform hats over history. And we love him so much. I cannot wait to see which hat we're gonna be reviewing this time. I'm on one today. I'm hyped today. I like what we're reviewing today. Let's go. What's this hat gonna be? We love the hat historian.
Something of a minor British symbol, the Custodian helmet, also known as the policeman or Bobbies helmet, is a type of helmet typically worn by the men of the British police forces.
You guys, the British Bobbies! Ah, so cute, so exciting. Yeah, this is iconic. You could see an outline of the shape of this hat and know that whatever movie you're about to watch or book you're about to read or whatever's coming next is going to be set in a British scene somewhere. That's how iconic this hat is as a part of this uniform. So I cannot wait to hear more.
Highly recognizable throughout the world, used in films, cartoons, caricatures and more to represent British law enforcement and sometimes establishing shots to place a scene more generally in England, it is a dome-shaped helmet originally made of cork, but now usually made of blue felt-covered plastic and exists in three main designs: the comb style, the rose-top style, and the ball style.
So he said the hat used to be made of cork and now it's made of plastic. I think we've reviewed enough hats on this channel for you guys to know that most hats start with one iteration and then over time as they see how it performs, the hats usually evolve into something that is more safe, more attractive, and generally just more functional in every way. Think about our American football helmets, how they started and how they are today with all the technology to protect the heads of the players. So, all right, so we see three hats here, and these are the three that they've worn or wear, and which one is my favorite? I like the one in the middle with the medallion on top. It kind of looks most like the one he's wearing, and he looks adorable. Jean-Charles, we love you. Yeah, I like the one in the middle most. Comment down below and tell me which one is your favorite. Let's hear some more about these hats.
Used in 1863 and designed by Christie's of London, a renowned hatter. The original design followed the comb style, with a large crest running from the back to the summit, called the coxcomb, and featuring a fairly flat brim. Many sources say that the Custodian helmet was inspired by the German Pickelhaube, which I've talked about before, a leather helmet famous for its prominent spike on the summit. Sadly, the original designs, which might have included studies and inspirations, have long since been lost, so it is impossible to know for certain.
I'm just sitting here, like, listening and not commenting at all. I just love learning all these little tidbits about uniforms and about the hats. That's what's so great about the Hat Historian. It really takes us back. Instead of showing us just what's being worn and reviewing it, we're getting a history of how it came to be, so.
But it seems likelier given the shape and period that it is based on the Elwood & Sons air chamber pith helmet, introduced in the 1850s, which had a tube running down from the top to provide ventilation to the head in hot climates. In fact, Christie's design so resembled Elwood's that the latter filed a lawsuit.
Okay, maybe I changed my mind. Maybe I like the one with the little vent on top, because it's giving me snorks. Are y'all old enough to know the snorks, to remember the snorks? The little guys with the snorkel that could live underwater? No? Okay, just me. Roll the snorks!
This coxcomb style was fully adopted in 1865 and remained the only one for the better part of a decade, though its height was slightly reduced to make it more stable on the head.
Look how high they were before, you guys. They're like really trying to make an impression. Can you imagine just like a police officer coming up to you like, hello, why would he say that? And why am I doing a Dick Van Dyke terrible Cockney accent? Anyway, can you imagine just this super high helmet? I mean, it looks kind of funny, so I'm glad they lowered it to give it a little more respect and distinguishedness.
And in the 1870s, the brim, originally turned up, was made to come down sharply and more resemble cavalry helmets.
All right, so I'm checking out this freeze frame of the guy with the chin strap right under his lip. While this helmet does not look incredibly functional, it kind of looks badass, and I think that's what they were going for. This looks like it would topple right off in a tussle, I'm not gonna lie. It looks cool, so I guess so far, fashion over function. Sorry about it.
In 1878, the Army adopted the Home Service helmet, a blue version of the pith helmet, which was in the fashion of the day, topped with a spike. This led some police forces to put spikes on top of their own helmets, rendering them almost indistinguishable from the Home Service helmet, and is probably the source of the belief that it is related to the Pickelhaube. The helmet changed little for the next 40 years, retaining the traditional designs and construction.
So while we've got this freeze frame black and white of the actual British Bobby here, let's look at their entire uniform. It is the most basic uniform there is. It is just a black suit. It is a black single breasted suit, flat pockets, hardly any adornment at all. No medals, no nothing, no name tag. It is just as simple as it can possibly get. So that's why the hat for this uniform is so incredibly important, because the silhouette of this uniform is iconic, even if the uniform is as plain as it possibly comes. I love it.
They were still made of cork, with a simple leather sweatband to maintain it on the head, and the plates and finials were attached by small screwed lugs sticking out on the inside.
A leather sweatband. Doesn't that sound appetizing? That reminds me of, you know, our American football helmets. Remember, we reviewed those before, the leather heads. They were made out of leather in the beginning. You know, you use what materials you've got, and then it evolves as time evolves and technology evolves.
And the helmet was prevented from being knocked off with a simple leather chin strap. This design started to prove to be a problem, particularly in the 1960s, as even during riot control, the Custodian helmet was the standard helmet worn. It soon became obvious that it was poorly adapted to serious riot protection. While visually the appearance remained identical, the construction was radically changed. Under the covering felt, instead of cork, helmets were now made of molded plastic, more akin to a hard hat. Similarly, inside, a new cushioning webbing was installed to cushion possible blows, and 2 chin straps were installed. The traditional leather one for normal duties, and a heavier harness one for more extreme situations.
That is the answer to my issue of going, this hat looks like it's just going to topple off in a tussle. Looks like they've got the tussle situation handled.
Which could be tucked inside when not in use. Traditionally only issued to male police constables, with women wearing a hardened bowler hat as their standard headdress.
So usually I'd be a little bit mad that, like, why don't you let the girls wear the cool helmet? Why do they get this? But this bowler hat with the little checkerboard print is really cute. So because it's cute, alternative, I'm not mad. I actually love it. So yay.
Some forces have allowed female police officers to wear the Custodian helmet if they so prefer, and the Staffordshire Police issues it to all their constables regardless of gender.
Okay, so it looks like they have a choice. They can wear the cute one that I like, the bowler hat, or they can wear the standard issue hat. And women, don't we love having choice? Yes, we do.
Custodian helmet has become something of a symbol of the UK, recognizable throughout the world and appearing in many pieces of popular culture. It is featured in many movies taking place in Britain, and can often be used in establishing shots to place a scene in the country, in the same way as the famous red phone booths or double-decker buses.
He is right. Just like I said in the beginning, the hat and the silhouette of that hat is synonymous with Great Britain, and you just can't separate the two. So how many Reviewniforms do I give the British Bobbies? I'm gonna give them 4. 4 Reviewniforms. I wanna give them 5 because this uniform is iconic. The shape, the silhouette. I mean, if a uniform is so awesome where you can just see the silhouette of the hat and know exactly who you're dealing with, that is a key ingredient to making something that is timeless, traditional, and iconic. The only reason I didn't give them 5 Reviewniforms is because the rest of the uniform is just basic, boring, nothing. I mean, I really couldn't give them all the way 5 because there's just no attention giving to anything and the neck down. But that hat, you guys, that hat is absolutely everything. So guys, I want to know, what did you think about the uniforms today? Did you like the British Bobby hat as much as I did? Are you as impressed with the uniform standards from Qatar Airlines? Or did you think that the Malaysian Guards, including the Sampin in their uniform, was as genius and as integrated as I thought it was? I want to hear from you. Please leave me a comment down below. You guys, I'm still a new YouTuber, and your comments, likes, and subscribes mean the world to me. So please hit the notification bell down below so you don't miss any videos from Reviewniforms and Uniform Expert Reacts. And remember, the most important thing, it's okay to judge uniforms, but not people. Love everyone.